What's up, guys? How we doing today?
Morning, everybody.
Joe here.
And Kevin.
Yeah, we're very excited to be hopping into this episode of The West Wing. Kind of a special episode from what I've been told. It was I forget the writer's name, but this is one of the only episodes in the Sorkin run that was not written by Aaron Sorkin, apparently.
Brought on a guest writer for this one episode.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Pulitzer Prize winning playwright or author, I'm assuming. That just said Pulitzer Prize winning writer, whose name I forget. So we'll see it here in the opening credits. Either way, we're at a really interesting spot of the show. The last episode, I think, is very important for the characters.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of a downer episode.
Sure.
We didn't really win a lot, but I think that is important to the overall, plan. You're not going to win everything.
Well, I like that, we haven't gotten to the second administration technically yet because we haven't gotten to Inauguration Day. It's the end. It's the lame duck period after the election, but before the second administration starts. So I like the fact that it's like, by the way, this isn't going to get any easier. Moving into their second term. There's still going to be, losses. There's still going to be compromise. There's still going to be a huge cost of trying to get things done.
And I would imagine there's probably more losses than wins,
right,
especially with the bipartisanship today. You know what I mean?
Right.
Obviously, this being fantasy 20 years ago, maybe a little different story. When do you think that inauguration episode is going to be, and do you think we're going to see it?
Yeah, we know that they're writing the speech. Josh Molina, Will, and Toby are writing the speech, so I think it's going to be an important episode.
It could be this episode.
Right?
We know. Because
plus, inaugurations have massive parties that the president, famously, the first lady's got to change like half a dozen times, go to half a dozen different parties that night, because you have to be thanking everybody and showing up at
not envious of
that. Yeah, right.
But yeah, if this is that episode, I'm very curious to see that process. They show us so much in the show, you know what I mean? Like we see the behind the scenes of so many important events, and I'm curious to see what that looks like. Right. How it's going to go wrong, because things will always go wrong
in the world for sure. But this is stuff we didn't get to see the first time because we started the show a year in. Yeah. So we didn't get to see election day, but we have now. We didn't get to see the campaigning, the debates, the inauguration. So a lot of this stuff we're going to see for the first time.
Sure.
Nominating new people to the cabinet, picking those people and everything. So yeah, I think we're in for a still fresh look at a lot of things, right? I don't think there's a risk of the second half of the run of the show getting stale.
Oh no.
In any way.
It's as engaging as ever.
Yeah, absolutely. We do want to go ahead and welcome Madison Dixon, Munira Alfani, Kalina Crandall, Nahiru, Shannon, and Hazel. I know I butchered some of those, but thank you so much, guys. We're very happy you're here with us on Patreon.
Yes, we are. If you guys are watching this for the first time on YouTube, welcome to our channel. If you don't mind hitting the like button for us, leave us a comment down below, and please hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date on the new content we've coming your way.
If you'd like to see a full-length reaction to this and everything else we've watched or are watching, please check out a link in the description below to our Patreon page. On all of the shows we're watching, including The West Wing, we're at least 4 episodes ahead on Patreon of where we're on YouTube. So if you want to keep going, Patreon's a place to do it. You will have to sync and watch along on your own device. You'll only see and hear us for copyright purposes. We're also watching 30 Rock as a Patreon exclusive.
Yeah. The Long Goodbye. Great Altman movie.
Yeah.
We understood you were to deliver a speech at this reunion entitled The Promise of a Generation.
Unfortunately, my job prevents me from certain pleasures, and I'm not chickening out.
We go. I'll do the briefings. Good luck.
You can't. It's not your shtick. You don't know who to call on, where to look, when to smile.
I would love to see Toby do it.
Yeah.
You're going to see her dad.
Right.
Soon deal with it.
How's he doing?
You're not allowed to use the words Alzheimer's or doctors.
Nevertheless, those are the relevant words. It is your speech.
Yeah.
Just give us one cutaway of Toby doing it. I want to see that so bad.
So are we going to be following CJ to Dayton? Is that what the episode's going to be?
I really hope so.
I'm assuming that's the case.
I think that would be fun.
Yeah.
When they break up the pace of the show and they do episodes like this, that'd be awesome. I'm assuming it's going to be quite heavy because this is
right.
subject matter.
I haven't...
Put the phone in it.
I haven't had a chance to work on... Hold on.
Yeah, I'd be so mad.
Yeah, I would too.
Joe!
Nobody likes that in the airport.
No.
No, I didn't mean that you have no social skills, Toby. I'm sorry if you think I was being insensitive to your...
It's a nice airport.
Don't they have deputy press secretaries to do this stuff?
You would think they would have like an easier route to go.
Right.
I didn't think
is that
you'd be coming.
Okay, it is, yeah.
I feel slightly so much better now.
Private Joker.
But I'm not the one who's making a
speech about?
Promise of a generation.
Yes.
Yeah.
After my mom died twice, now to a lovely lady in the English department. Her job is baking and hating me.
A little chemistry there.
A little bit.
You wouldn't want to go to this thing together, would you? I mean, we could get a vodka first, which helps with the fear.
I do like Matthew Modine.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Underrated actor. I have a friend of mine who loves the movie Vision Quest. I've never seen it. He keeps trying to get me to watch it.
I've never seen it either.
When you go out on a date, you're supposed to call if you come in after midnight, aren't you?
Oh, wow.
I'm sorry,
Is that Gary from The Thing?
Yeah. Can't remember his name.
Donald Moffat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything. I want to know everything. Let's sit up all night and catch up. Why let meteorology dictate? We used to go fishing, didn't we?
It's a little sauced already, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
I'll
This
be
seems
right
like a
there. I'm
lot
just gonna
for
put
her,
my
yeah.
bags down and wash my face.
Yeah. I'm trying to read it if he's like sauced already or if he's just like kind of excited to see her. Probably a bit of both.
Right. She seems overwhelmed by the whole thing, so
No,
something's definitely off.
A custard, fabled for its restorative
That
properties.
seems kind of dangerous.
Somewhere
Yeah.
in this kitchen is a copper pot.
He doesn't remember that he had a cigarette going.
Well, what worries me is the fact that he has a gas stove.
Right.
I was thinking of asking you to write it forward, but I suppose that's unethical, no?
Not at all. I'd be happy to.
Well, it seems to me that
We keep zooming in on the
They
food,
do.
and it's making me nervous.
The insert shots are very off-putting.
Yeah.
I have to finish my book. Kids aren't being taught any of the important things.
It's so sad how frustrated he is, and it's
It's so profound, though. Like,
Yeah.
a man battling Alzheimer's who's trying to finish his book in time.
yeah,
That's so sad.
yeah,
Gives me chills.
yeah.
Good call. Good call to
I
stove.
was honestly worried about
I
that.
was too, yeah.
I'm assuming his wife isn't there.
Yeah.
You know,
I- You think she just left?
yeah.
She just left him?
It was probably. It sucks, but it was probably she left because of this, because it's a lot of impossible work, and you absolutely should not leave somebody in this situation.
No!
But I know.
Like,
Of course, she left. This obviously isn't much fun. Not what she signed on for.
I think I know exactly why you're here at 7:05 a.m. Your stepmom. She's moved right back in.
Oh, she's gonna go ask her what the heck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I made a mistake. It was years of him being charming.
so she feels guilty.
No, she made a mistake marrying him, is what she said.
No.
Yeah.
Why didn't you call me, Molly?
I didn't get to spend time with your father.
I want that question answered.
Yeah, me too.
This is what you're doing right now invalidates everything that came before, all the good, the years of teaching. This cancels a good and valuable life.
You can't paint her as evil for not wanting to be there. Whatever, your personal choice. But she
Yeah.
didn't call anybody or
Yeah,
tell anybody.
Something. A call. It's not safe.
Call her.
It's not safe.
It's not safe.
We need to get some help if Molly
Yeah.
won't come back. We do. Have you done anything? Seen doctors?
Doctors.
He's trying to solve it himself.
Dad, I'm not Molly.
Not Molly. Who the hell are you? Who are you? All these damn women hounding me. And my daughter just abandoned me.
You're going to require care.
I wasn't built for it.
I would lose it. Like, I would.
Yeah, this is
melt.
tough. Yeah.
It's not a disease where you forget where you put the key. It's where you forget what the key is for. Having someone there helps keep it at bay alone is not good.
I'm not alone. I have my book.
You're probably aware that it's harder on the people around you than it will be on you.
Yeah.
There is a good home. It's actually not depressing in any way.
I think that's the right decision. If Molly's not going to be there and she can't, yeah.
He can't live there by himself. Even if he has a nurse, he's got to be somewhere.
Wow.
No, I'm pretty good with numbers.
Oh, if we drove for 3 hours at 40 miles an hour?
Okay, doesn't go off on him. This doesn't help.
I'd be willed away by sheer force of personality,
Would you
Daddy!
hand over those things without a fight? I need a little more time, CJ.
I can't blame her for wanting to walk away from the West Wing and just be there with him. Obviously, she's not going to.
Right.
You know?
Mr. Arlen, I heard you were back in town.
Mr. Craig, how's the algebra business?
But fortunately, as the waitresses like to say, not my table.
That was good.
You still got a switch. That's good.
So what you up to now?
I'm a horologist.
You fix watches.
Is it right? Because I don't know what a horologist is.
You were in prison.
I did a year. It wasn't hard. I was younger. Stock tips.
Insider trading will get you every time.
Every time.
You're losing time, Mr. Craig.
That, son, I am.
Yeah, it's a metaphor.
I can't remember who this is.
God, this sucks.
Ben Ehrenreich. He was sweet. Tried to kiss me once.
Well, you are Matthew Modine.
Do you think that that she will give a speech?
Yeah, I feel like she'll go through with it. Hotel room? Oh, so they didn't go out to dinner. They skipped dinner.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
They skipped dinner.
Life is all what's next.
It's funny that they say it on the show so much.
Yeah, truly.
Okay, I didn't expect this.
Every generation has promise, and every generation fails that promise in some respects. America is a terribly difficult idea, filled with promise and impossible to live up to.
2 car bombs outside our embassies in Asia.
God, of course.
One went off, one didn't. A message to expect more of the same within the next 24 hours.
I'm sorry, I have to go.
We'll drive with you to the airport if you like.
He seems like a nice man.
Tell Marco, send it back to me soon. Time matters.
If you wouldn't mind, if you find the time to. Oh man, I really, seriously, guys, that was quite moving. I'm a little lost for words.
It was.
Sorry.
I do think if there's one minor criticism of it, I do think the watch thing was maybe a little heavy-handed. A little bit.
I kind of wanted to get back to that.
You know, the way it was when he was looking at it, it's like, you're losing time, and then like hands her the watch, says time matters. I feel like that might have been just a skosh on the nose, but other than that, I absolutely love this episode.
It worked for me in a couple ways.
Sure.
I agree. It is, right? We've seen stories like that before, right? There's always a big metaphor for this situation. In that regard, it kind of did feel like a book or like a play.
Right.
You know? Which I enjoyed. I do enjoy that. I do think I can feel this writer. Obviously, it's not Sorkin.
Sure, but you definitely tell.
You felt it. I love that.
Tonally, it was a lot different,
and I like that this episode was so touching. I think it's one of my favorite episodes of the series so far.
Really,
truly, I really enjoyed this this break, if you will. You know, and I was kind of expecting it to be a little cheesy, like with the watch element being introduced, and then like having the speech at the end. I thought it was going to be a speech that ties into everything and wraps it all up. I like that it shows that these high school readings don't really matter.
Right. It was all unimportant, really.
And I thought Donald Moffat killed it.
He did. Yeah, he was great.
You quoted the thing at the end of the episode. I love that movie.
Yeah, I do too.
Gary's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
But no, I think we all know somebody who's been affected by this disease, and it's horrible. It's hard to watch that, and so I understand why people can't really rewatch this episode. Or
it's outside the regular storyline. It's a super bummer, and there's no real resolution to it. At the end, it's like, and realistically, there wouldn't be. Like, I'm not knocking that. It's just, the end is like, well, one day at a time.
That's the resolution,
right?
That's what I like.
The resolution is, let's look forward to tomorrow.
That's truly what I enjoyed about it, was the fact that, like, true to life.
Sure. No, it was.
The next day. We're not as good as we were. We didn't peak 20 years ago.
Sure.
You take it one day at a time. And I like that Molly coming back kind of signifies that. You know what I mean?
Right.
We will continue. And this is probably the last time CJ is going to see her dad like this.
Yeah.
With some sort of consciousness.
For sure. I would be really surprised if we ever see him again, honestly.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll mention it. I'm sure they'll do an episode down the road where she talks about him.
Sure. Right.
I think that was it for her. And the use of inserts, the close-up shots, It felt very artistic, and the fact that this got to air on NBC, I think, is honestly kind of amazing. This NBC is a network. Obviously, it's hosted all of the West Wing episodes, but like this was just so profound, and I really, really enjoyed it. It was on the nose,
right?
But I think it was important.
No, I didn't dislike it at all. I felt like it was a little on the nose. But for me, I'm thinking what you said going into the episode that some people said on Patreon that this is one they don't go through when they do a rewatch, and I totally get that. It's completely outside the story. I'm glad I watched it. I'm not saying I didn't like the episode because I did, but I don't know that I would rewatch it on a rewatch simply because
it doesn't progress the story really.
It doesn't really progress the story, and while it's an important kind of look into CJ, I feel like it's kind of again really, really, really outside the story. And it's like let's just bring it down a little bit before we move on. Which again, I don't have a problem with. It is an important issue. I think it's something to really consider. The idea that his wife kind of abandoned him and didn't tell anybody really irritated me. Maybe there's a bit of redemption there at the end that CJ kind of guilts her into coming back. Yeah. Who knows if it takes. But to me, that was, CJ asked the questions like, "Why didn't you call me?" And that really never got answered.
She left him to die.
And I really like, oh, Molly came back. I don't forgive her. You know what I mean? The episode ends, and I'm still really mad at Molly.
Sure.
For it was like, oh, this isn't fun. This isn't what I signed up for. You're not.
No crap. Nobody signs up for it.
Right. This isn't as charming as I wanted it to be when we get married. So I'm just going to bail. Good luck.
Yeah.
I find that really detestable. So when CJ kind of lost it on her, I get that. I don't really buy the like, oh, you're back, so we're all good at the end there.
I think the reason I like it too is like I love CJ so much that like
sure, absolutely,
getting to spend an episode with her exclusively is really, really nice.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And even her flashback episode, one of my favorites.
Yeah, right when she was working in Hollywood.
Yeah.
No, I mean CJ is obviously one of our great characters. We've had mention of her dad. But yeah, it was a good episode, but again, it was just kind of a pause.
It's one of those episodes where, like, I agree with you. If I am doing a full rewatch of the show, I don't know. I could obviously skip it, but it's an episode that you could just single out.
Right.
You know? And I like that.
I mean, it's a memorable episode for sure.
Yeah. I love the direction of it. Like, it's just images stick with you, Like,
yeah, the shooting of it was really interesting in that there were so many tight shots on, like, small actions in the house, in his cluttered house, when CJ was completely overwhelmed, that made us feel overwhelmed as well. Like, I love the storytelling there that really built the tension and kind of matched it. Like, you're feeling what CJ's feeling, a lot of like, what's going on here? Everything's going wrong. Nothing is as it should be.
Yeah.
And it was shot really well. That was a perfect 5-minute sequence there when she first got to his house.
Another shout out to a shot is when she's confronting Molly and Molly's turned away from them.
Right.
And that close up of her face facing the other direction. It's like out of a Bergman movie.
It
really, like, I thought this was hats off, just an incredible episode of TV.
Yeah, it was really good. It was really good storytelling. Like I said, I probably would have liked it a bit more if the watch stuff wasn't.
They had to
so
put that in there, right?
Right.
Like, in case you guys don't get it,
right? And even the first time it was fine. You're losing time. Yeah, I certainly am. Okay, you've done it.
Yeah.
Then it's been hand the watch over to her. Like, time matters. Like all right, now we're just beating it over the head just a little bit for my taste.
If it's something to where the watch comes back, to where, like, say her father does pass down the road and she has the watch throughout the rest of the show, that would be kind of cool as far as the payoff goes.
Right. If there is if there's a payoff down the road to the watch, maybe. But if that's it, if that's all we get of the watch, then it was like unnecessarily heavy-handed. But other than that is a really small critique of an otherwise really good episode for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And let us know what you guys think. I'd love to talk about this episode on Patreon for you guys.
Yeah, all right, we'll catch you next one, guys.
See ya.